All right, hey guys, Brad here at Elliott Wave Made Simple. We're going to dive into the silver chart. It seems to me that silver is on the launch pad and activity is starting to support the idea that we're about to finish off a legit 5-wave move up, which really is just going to get you to the top of a wave 3. Then you're going to get another wave 4 and another surge higher. So it is fair to say silver is on the launch pad. What we don't know and nobody knows is it going to take advantage of this setup? Let's dive into the chart and see what we can glean on the parameters for silver. Here we go. All right, guys, so I'm actually looking at the daily chart. I've zoomed out a bit here just to get my bearings. So in order to keep it really simple, I'm only going to look at this particular structure right here that I'm looking at off of this low, keeping it real simple. This is a potential, what they call a nested 1-2-1-2, meaning this could be a 1-2, and then here's another 1-2 immediately following it. So for the purposes of this video and my own trade, what I'm doing is tracking this degree 5-wave move, which is playing out as a diagonal. And right now, this is a daily chart. Keep that in mind. So if this wants to come up and terminate as a wave 5 somewhere in this box, this is a ratio box, this would be very reasonable for a 5-wave structure in a diagonal to terminate at or before the 1618. In fact, now that I'm looking at this, let me just see where the 1382 comes in. Yeah, just shy of that ratio box. So this is a very reasonable target. Call it 34 to 36. Now I know what you're thinking. That's $2 difference. It's a huge difference. How in the world can you trade if your target is $2 wide? Well, good question. We are using the longer time frame. In an Elliott wave speak, we'll call that the higher degree, to look at potential target regions. Then we're going to drill down on the lower degree. In other words, this internal structure inside of here, to try to get a more precise idea for a target up into this area. Now, before I leave the daily chart, let me just look at some technicals. Yeah, this is really interesting because looking at, got a little bit of a different view. This oscillator right down here, this is an RSI oscillator. It's showing that this is topping out a bit here. Yeah, but I must tell you, look at the past condition. When this oscillator reaches this level, it does have the potential to go sideways as price finishes off a move higher. So this in and of itself is telling you you are overbought, if you want to use that term, just because this is really up high here. But looking at the past, when it gets into this posture, you look at this example right here of this same posture. The price was here, 30. And then by the time this oscillator had gone flat all the way across to here, you were up $3. So is it possible for this to reset itself? And also, we're going to look at the lower time frame, because you can get a local top up here and a pullback that might reset this indicator so that it can come higher while price comes higher. Just saying. Okay, now that I've talked too much about what is largely a discounted indicator, for my purposes, I'm looking at price action almost exclusively and volume. And speaking of volume, let me pop on my trusty volume. You know, I like these. I like to see the bubbles at the lows, like to see the green bubbles at the tops. Is it a whole foolproof 100% guarantee silver bullet indicator? No, because none of them are. However, I've learned to check out the volume. You want to see these bubbles at the top, the green bubbles at the top. You want to see the red bubbles at the lows. Well, this is nice to see a whole bunch of medium-sized red bubbles at the low of this wave 4. And then also look at the MACD. Look at this straight RSI. This obviously has room to run higher without question. And this is a daily chart. So I'll discount this oscillator as being potentially embedded, as it has done in the past. Also, look at the histogram on this TTM squeeze tool, which shows momentum is clearly to the upside at the moment. So if I had to just say the look of this technicals, does it allow for higher? The answer is yes. Like if it has to be binary, which it's not, but I'm just saying for the purposes of this video and to explain a little bit about technical indicators, is this setup allowing for higher price? And I'm going to say yes, even though locally there could be a pullback because of this oscillator, RSI, stochastic RSI oscillator. All right, so now that I've created a big word salad, we're going to move off the daily and we're going to drill down now and look at something more actionable. So for me, the $1 million question is this a 1-2 right here? And we're already coming up and about to break out and just go directly higher to the upper 30s and then get that local pullback. In other words, that RSI oscillator I was just showing you, that could be embedded to the upside. So we get a move. Let me make these fibs a little bit brighter so you can see exactly what I'm talking about on this 21-minute chart. If this is a 1-2, then I would expect price to come up and get up into the upper, mid 30s. Okay, just call it 50 cents from where we are now. 40 cents higher could happen early in the week. No question. Also of interest is this is the 100 fib of this measurement right here, which just means this is 3 up right into the 100 fib, which is a typical target to see resistance in a local pullback. So the reason I don't like getting an immediate, what I prefer is that this just plow right through these levels and get above this level, 30.03 cents, $30.03. Ideally, it would be better. It would look better for structure if this just breaks out right now from this posture. It makes it a little more complicated if it comes back down. Although if it does want to come back down before making a new high over $30.03, I will be watching very carefully for this to give up a 3-wave move right into this area right here. The worst case scenario, and by worst case, I don't mean that I'm going to suddenly not be bullish. It's going to take a lot for me to suddenly not be bullish. But if it comes back and plows through this zone, which is the 50% fib and the 618, okay, you can, let me make this a little brighter just to make sure. I know a lot of you guys are on phones. I want to make sure that you can see the price level that I'm talking about. If this is going to come down in 3 waves and hold support here, I'm going to call that a 1-2 of this wave 5 of 3 into this box. If it keeps going higher, I'm going to consider this already in wave 3 of 5 and with a 4 to come and then a final shove up for wave 5. So I've already given you 2 scenarios. Now look, I hope I'm not confusing you. Some guys give Elliott wave a little grief because well, you said it was going to do this, and then I watched your labels, and I bought 25 option contracts, and then the very next day you changed your labels, and now I'm in these option okay, there's so many things wrong with that, but I'm not going to get into a whole long thing about it. But what I'll just say is this: the strength and the real value of Elliott wave is in the parameters that it's creating and showing you what is, by a skilled practitioner, Elliott wave is going to allow you to perceive what is most likely out of a field of probabilities. Okay, does anything that I just said sound like certainty? No. Am I making a prediction? No. I'm presenting wave structure that is giving you a view into what is more likely than not to happen. And as price waves fill out, we get more information. We can take more measurements and then adjust. So at risk of making you crazy, I'm talking about 3 potentials here. And my view is we're going higher. Do I know if we're going directly higher or not? I don't know that, but there's 2 scenarios that I think are most likely, and I've already showed you 2 of them. So quick review is, one idea is it goes directly higher, somewhere up into this area of $30.37 in this region before it gets another local pullback and one more shove. Or This has already topped out around the 100 fib, or soon to top out, without making a new high here. And then it comes back down into this area, which I would consider a wave 2, and then we're still going to get the third, and it might even extend to the top part of this box. Okay, that's the second scenario. The third scenario, which is, I think, ironically more bullish, is if this comes all the way down, gets through this support, breaks this support, and comes all the way down here and just gets below the 382. I'm going to consider that another A wave, and it could be kind of like an A, another B, and then a C for a deeper 2. In other words, maybe this has already topped out in 5 waves, and we're just getting a wave 2 now, which is then going to produce an incredibly profitable, powerful wave 3. So that I think is the least likely scenario. But look, sometimes when you're talking about odds and probabilities, if there are 3 different probabilities and only one has a slight edge, then they're all considered fairly equal. Okay, so the best we can do is watch these parameters. This is the strength of Elliott wave, and it also ties in with this basic price action. If you see price after the open tonight, anytime after the open tonight, Sunday night open, and it gets above this level, and then maybe even back tests it and holds it, and then keeps coming up into this region, there's your answer. You could get your answer within a 24-hour to 48-hour period as to what is going to happen here. And then if it comes down, it's a similar thing, 24 to 48 hours. Let's see what price is going to do and how this is going to resolve. And again, I think the 2 most likely scenarios are 1, it breaks out directly, 2, it comes back and catches support and then comes up, and 3, it comes down and gets past all this as an A wave, and then bounces and then gets one more shove down for a wave 2. There are other ways to think of it, but for the purposes of this video, I'm keeping it very simple. I'm only giving you 3 ideas based on Fibonacci. Okay, so that's the deal. All right, so if you've been following me for a minute, you know I've been stalking this silver trade for, I don't know, a month now, and I've only traded in and out of it a couple of times, and I'm trading around a core, so I'm still heavy long, and I want to take gains either all or most, certainly at least 50% if we're lucky enough to see that higher level into the green box that's on the chart that's on my screen right now. All right, thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate all the support, and I appreciate the interaction. I actually love this stuff. So to help encourage me to keep making these charts and making these videos, give me a like button. Ask a question in the comments. I will reply. Thank you for subscribing. If you're not subscribed and you're getting value out of this kind of video, for the parameters mostly, if you're liking the parameters you're getting and you're doing some trades, go ahead and subscribe so you won't miss any updates. I'm really focused on silver right now, so I'm going to keep making these videos. Also, another thing I got to tell you about my buddy Armando. Most of you guys watching this video are already in the club, so I'm not really talking to you. But if you're new and you're watching this video and you're getting some value and you want to see more videos on different instruments, come on and join the club, The Professor Trades. The Professor Trades. It's ridiculous at less than $1 a day. It's pretty insane. I know the internet is full of guys talking about trading and come with me and make 20 grand a day and blah, blah. But if you want to learn, if you're the kind of person that wants to put in a good, honest effort and a good, honest day's work to learn how to do proper analysis based on price action, not any magic, anything, no magic indicators, no pay me a bunch of money and I'll make you rich, none of that. Just some basic information that's going to educate you and help you learn how to do proper risk management so you don't get killed. That's like step 1. Can you trade futures without getting killed? If you're struggling at all with mindset, risk management, where do I put my stops? Where do I take gains? I've already blown up an account. If this is you, you got to come join the Professor Trades. The link is scrolling across the bottom of my screen, and it's also in the description of this video. That's my plug. Thanks for watching, guys. And I hope to see you in the room with Armando, the professor. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see what happens. Catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.